let's talk about July and April. Because I meant to come back sooner, but I lied. See what I did there? So we're talking about Your Lie in April, which is pretty much a romantic teen dramedy. Which, as far as romantic teen dramedies go, wasn't terrible. I'd laughed out loud more than a couple times. The fact that it could get me to laugh like that, considering normally I wouldn't be into this shit, but my wife dragged me into this because she was like, look, it's supposed to be really good, and I'm like, whatever, because that's how I was. But I stuck it out for you. And it's mostly told through the point of view of your main protagonist, Kosei, this super emo pianist prodigy. He has issues. Let me put it this way. There's a big portion of this budget that is allocated strictly for Kosei and his goddamn crying. Because there's a lot of it. All your other characters cry at one point or another, but Kosei cries the most. I'm pretty sure all of his character sheets were just him crying. Various stages of his life crying. Young Kosei crying, old Kosei crying. So Kosei is this broken pianist, and he's broken because of the shit that has gone on in his own life. In walks Kaori, and she is full of life and is going to drag him out of the darkness. And you kind of know why. You kind of know why. You're like, I bet she's so free because of this. And you're right. And when he meets Kaori, all of a sudden, he's talking about how the world is full of color, and it's like he's seeing color for the very first time, and then, you know, he sees her, and all this color, she's crying. She's crying too? Everyone's just crying. Everyone's just crying all the time. Just crying, crying, crying. You're crying in April, and the next month, and the next month, till December. You're crying all year, okay? Kosei has this jock friend. The interaction between this pretty much on the fast track to getting a soccer scholarship jock and this nerdy pianist is actually really touching. Normally, the soccer star would be beating him up with good reason. And then, of course, he has his, let's call her sporty spice neighbor, Tsubaki, who's all into sports and is kind of a tomboy, but has always had pretty much the hots for her nerdy pianist friend, even though she's not musically inclined. Kaori, on the other hand, walks into his life and is perfect for him in every way. Honestly, I was rooting for Blondie. I was rooting for Kaori because honestly, that's exactly what Kosei needed. Kosei needed super hot, into music chick to drag him out of his weird underwater funk. It's your standard teen drama, comedy, anime. There's a love triangle or a diamond or whatever sort of weird polygon it turns into. But it turns into that, but you know where it's going to wind up. And it does. Not in a bad way, but you're like, I bet this is going to happen, and then this is going to be the resolution, and I'm okay with that. And that's what happens. Which is caused by kind of the worst mothering ever. They do this weird half the series thing, because right when they change the point of view you've had on the mom character is when you get the new opening. So it's like, okay, remember all that stuff? Ah! It's not that it isn't good. I really like the art style. They really have some good animation when it's time for the good animation. He's a concert pianist. These are piano competitions. He's battling with a piano. It's not exactly mech fights. Not exactly, even though they spin that camera around that piano several times. But a lot of times, he's in competition, so the other entries have to go, and they don't really animate them playing. You can see them at the piano, and then it's just like... But then when it's Kosei's turn, you know, he actually has animation. You can actually watch him play the piano, and it's kind of cool. There's a couple of moments where you're inside Kosei's head, and I swear to God, we're not inside Kosei's head. And if we are, he just dropped a bunch of acid before he walked out here and started touching this piano. Because all of a sudden, he's at the bottom of the ocean, he's up in the clouds, he is flipping out, okay? It is amazing that he even finished. He finished, he's all sweaty. No, he is fucked up on junk. This kid is on junk. The animation at times is really, really good. There's like really good animation in here. It's sprinkled It's sprinkled about, but, you know, when it happens, you're like, man, that's some really good animation. Because it is. And I do have to mention that the English dub was actually really good. I could hear all the emotion through the English cast's voice, so that's a really good job. And I'll admit it, I was dragged into this thing kicking and screaming because I'm just like, oh god, it's a chickame. It's a chickame, and it is. It's still worth watching because it still makes you laugh and it still invests you emotionally in these characters. When it's piano battle time, they kind of Dragon Ball Z it with the fighting. Remember when the fight just started and then they remember that thing that happened right before the fight just started? They do that a lot. There's a lot of piano battle existential in your headisms. Because there is. It's like Eva for pianists. Piano battle, boom, 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 boom. In spite of it being a chickame, we binged it and it was worth it. It was enjoyable. It made me laugh a couple times. So I'm going to say my official rating and my unofficial rating system, totally watch-worthy. You should check it out. This is AniView by Dave. I, of course, am Dave. If you have any questions, comments, confusion, suggestions, put them below, and I will get back to you. See you next time. And then she died. Which is what we kept saying at the end of every episode, and then the credits would roll. And then she died. Because that's what happens. Jazz hands and all. So, you know, that thing that you saw coming in episode 1, you know, her dying, that happens. Just like you knew it was gonna. Even though she's fighting real hard, no, seriously, she dies, and Tsubaki wins by default. Haha, forfeit. Well, yeah, life. Writes him a letter. It says, P.S. I'm dead. Tears. Not from me, from, you know, Kosei. Everybody's into him for no reason. She's pretty set on, well, I'm gonna die, so I may as well do what I want. Hey, let's enter a duet competition and fuck it if we win. Because she doesn't care. Because she's going to die. What the fuck does she care? It's not like I'm going to be around to enjoy the spoils of winning. It's not like if I win, I'm going to get to go on to my career. Because I'm not. So who gives a fuck? And that's what Kosei needed. He needed a who gives a fuck. He didn't want it with the package of, oh, look, another dead woman in your life. Because that's what happened. And there's kind of a running theme of these women coming into his life, giving him this thing that he needs and loves, and then, you know, dying. His mother was the worst mother in the history of motherdom. Because she's literally just beating his ass outside this concert hall with her cane in front of everybody. And it's terrible. How many times have I told you to play what's on the goddamn page? Seriously. Fuck. Looking like death in a wheelchair beating her son who just won. By the way. Just won, and now you're going to beat him in front of everybody? In front of everybody! Jesus Christ! Worst mom ever. And then, you know, you get the new opener, and now all of a sudden she's not the worst mom ever. And he is like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I was being a dick. Not really, kid. Not really. He's got like PTSD. Only the P stands for piano. While he's having the flashbacks of his mom, like, almost killing him to death with her cane, I was just sitting there going, dude, just pick up a different instrument. Just pick up a different instrument. Pick up something you can hit her back with. Pick up a trumpet or something. I don't care. Just stop playing the piano. Just stop. Just walk away. Just walk away. I hear Weird Al has a great scholarship if you want to pick up a fucking whatever this is.
Accordion.
Thank you.